Good morning. Whoa, there it is. Yep. I'll be with you in a minute here, folks. And there we are. Welcome to Phil's world about words and phrases and origins and things like that. Today is June the 6th. And I'm going to be talking about the humors, the four humors. Let's see. I stumbled onto that. Let me see if I can. There it is. The four humors. What are we talking about? Well, first of all, the word humor in Latin means liquid, fluid. So now we use the word humor to mean funny stuff, Okay, not complicated. By the way, the funny bone is called the humorous. I guess some 17th century physiologists decided that would be a good name for it. When you hit yourself and it goes all tingly, it's called a funny bone. So how did this word go from being a liquid to being he's funny over a couple thousand years? Well, I won't tell you. Well, maybe I will. Yes, I will. The four humors refer to a theory about the human being, the illnesses. The human body produces four types of fluids. Blood is one, black bile, yellow bile, and phlegm. Okay, and of course, they were, according to the Hippocrates and Galen, they fall on the scale of either being hot and dry or wet and cold and different things. So, for example, the theory would be that if you're suffering from too much blood, let's say it's too hot and wet, so you have to counterbalance that by doing something dry and cold. I don't know what would be. Maybe take you off of fluids for a while and drink cold things to balance out those humors. If your humors went into different things, but if it got too much out of balance, you got sick, really sick. So what was causing your gout or your kidney problems or your headaches? It was caused by your humors being out of balance. And a physician would observe you and say, this is very obvious. You need more yellow bile. And so they would adjust those fluids. Of course, the thing that we all remember is that for many, many years, if you had too much blood, they would let out the blood. They would take it out of you. That was easy. They could just cut a vein, drain 2, 3, 4 pints out of you, and body that would just make you feel so much better because you'd be going back into balance. This was the accepted theory of human illness for many years. Now, before we laugh about that, realize that was a big improvement over before. Before this, human illness was ascribed to something outside. The man down the street put a curse on you, or the gods don't like you, or you were born under, oh gosh, you're a Sagittarius. No wonder you're ill. I don't know. There was some outside force. For change, they said to watch the patient, to look at the patient and actually observe what was going on. And this was a huge step forward to ascribe illnesses to what was happening inside the human being. So now we talked about the humors, so that they also determine your personality. For example, let me see if I have one here. Yes. You've got phlegmatic, meaning you have too much phlegm. You would be sort of phlegmatic. We still use these words today. You could be sanguine, fiery, lots of blood. Sanguine comes from the word for blood. Melancholic, which we talked about last time, meaning you're sort of thinking too much and you're sad and depressed. Hypochondria comes from the word under the chest bone, which we talked about. That's where the black bile is produced. Too much black bile, you're melancholic. Don't need to take drugs. Get rid of some of that black bile. Or you're choleric, fiery. So that's all I got to say about that. The humors, the four humors were very popular. No, they weren't they were believed universally in the Western world from Egypt, I guess all the way through for 2,000 years. Only in the 18th, 19th century, when somebody discovered these little things called microbes. Whoops, it's the phone.
Call from unknown.
I got a call. So that they started it being disproved. And now, of course, we don't believe it, but we still use the word. You can be sanguine, you can be caloric, you can be melancholic based on this. That's it, folks. I want to thank you all for watching. We've covered the 4 humors. And I went to uh, what is it? A dance recital. I can't think anymore. Yesterday. And that got me to thinking about some interesting things about the stage. And so we're going to cover some stage phrases, or at least one of them next time. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to sign off.